Can evil people change? There's a question people have debated for centuries. Can truly evil people ever change? This story might be the closest I've ever come to an answer. It begins in a small town in Pennsylvania, where a man named Richard was known as nothing short of a monster. In the 1990s, Richard had been convicted of a string of violent assaults. People described him as pure evil, the kind of man who seemed to enjoy the suffering of others. He was sentenced to decades in prison, and everyone assumed that's where he'd rot away until he died. But life took an unexpected turn. Richard was released after serving 25 years. He was in his mid-60s now. His hair was grey, his body frail. He started attending church, volunteering at soup kitchens, even giving speeches about redemption. He apologized for his past, told reporters he wanted to make peace before death, and to the shock of many, people started believing him. The town that once spat at his name began to accept him. He was invited to barbecues, asked to speak at schools, even trusted with babysitting children at one point. But not everyone was convinced. There was one man, Derek, whose sister had been one of Richard's victims. Derek never forgave him. He swore Richard was pretending, waiting for the right moment to let his mask slip. And Derek was right. One cold November evening, a woman in town went missing after leaving a diner. Her car was found abandoned in the woods. Within weeks, another woman disappeared, then another. All had eerily similar details to Richard's crimes decades earlier. Police launched an investigation. At first, Richard volunteered to help, acting as if he was a concerned citizen. He joined search parties, shook hands with officers, even prayed with grieving families. But Derek never stopped watching him. Late one night, Derek followed Richard's truck out of town. He trailed him deep into the forest, headlights cutting through the fog. That's when Derek saw him. An old, frail man dragging something heavy from the back of his truck. It was a tarp. Derek called the police, and when they arrived, they uncovered the horrifying truth. Inside Richard's basement, they found evidence of his recent victims, as if he'd been reliving his crimes all over again. The redemption arc was nothing but a disguise. Even after decades, Richard hadn't changed at all. He was still the same monster, just older, slower, and much more cunning. So, can evil people really change? Maybe some can. But Richard proved that for others, the darkness never leaves. It only hides, waiting for the perfect time to return.